All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. I'm ready, even if you're not. And we're just going to get this going. I'm going to talk about weather, climate, war. Going to start, I don't know. I never really I don't know if I like these posts, these kinds of posts or not. They're interesting. We're live on Substack, Odyssey, and YouTube, by the way. That's where it's all going down. Start with this. I don't know. Just something interesting to look at. Farmer says after months under a strange cloud blanket, his land has no insects, no bees, no birds, and crops that refuse to grow. I mean, sure. And also, where is the evidence of the cloud blanket? I mean, I guess. I mean, there's a cloud blanket right now above me, so I don't immediately disbelieve this. Could it be that the cloud blanket has nothing to do with the loss of insects, bees, birds, and crops? Maybe it's the heat and the UV that's killing all these animals or driving them away. And the cloud blanket is there to try or attempt to control the heat, which is what my thoughts on it are. I feel like I'm correct. You can disagree if you like. In the comments, go ahead. Go ahead. I dare you. I dare you. Don't everybody comment at once. Try and hold back, everybody. Anyways, let's listen to this.
This is a video I've meant to do for the last few weeks, actually. I'm going to show you something, and I want to know what you think. I can't be the only one that's noticed this. I can't be. But where are all the insects?
No shit.
Let me just show you this. Just hold on a minute.
What's up, Zalipa?
I don't know whether you can see this. I've got a bit of glare on the screen, so I can't really be sure whether you're going to see it properly. This is a buddleia, yeah? All the lovely flowers on it. These are butterflies and bees' favourites. I mean, normally there's bees and butterflies on these all the time. I haven't seen one this year, not one. There's a few flies about, but nothing like there should be. I mean, milking people will know this. In this time of year, they're an absolute pain in the fucking arse in the pile of the flies. But look, there's nothing on there.
Yeah.
There's a few flies knocking about, but nothing like there should be.
Yeah. I know lots of people's gardens.
What do you think? Like well, I looked at the cows yesterday in the yard. I mean, it was a crap day yesterday. There is open cloud today, but yesterday it was just overcast. It was warm, but just under that blanket that we've had all bloody summer. I mean, the grass growth is fucking awful. I've actually opened the silage clamp yesterday because I just barely got any grass. I put a load of slurry out because we're going to get rain again. But what do you think? Conspiracy? Is it from them spraying chemicals in the atmosphere, changing the weather?
No. Anyways, I'll tell you what I think. And I feel like this is a conclusion that people come to wrongly. But it is an important distinction. The changes in the weather are not from the clouds. The changes in the weather are from climate change. The clouds are there to try to control it, to contain it. Period. We're just looking at geoengineering, like the geoengineering, classic geoengineering of we're going to try and contain temperatures to, underneath a certain degree or whatever, right? Try and control the runaway climate change. Are they capable of controlling the weather and whatnot and doing some kind of thing? Yeah, of course, sure. I don't doubt. I don't doubt that. I just think what is going on is just what I said. So I feel like people are getting it wrong, but you got to get it wrong. You have to really understand what's going on. If you're just like, they're controlling the weather with the clouds and the stuff they're spraying in the sky, that makes it seem like, well, if they would just quit doing that, then everything would be normal. I don't think so. Now, if we quit industrial civilization, probably there might be a big shift towards, normal, I'm sure. Creative experiments. Climate change is a byproduct of colonial capitalist empires. And people think they can turn off a space laser to fix it. Right. The space laser is there to try to fix it. It is not going to fix it. The clouds are not going to fix it. They are not going to be successful. They're just trying to contain the damage so that people continue to go to the supermarket, go to the gas station, go to the Target, go to Disneyland, get on a plane, go to vacation. That is what they're trying to do. And probably not going to do a great job of it. Okay, so excuse me. Further evidence that things are spinning out of control. And we're going to talk about the heat wave that's about to hit California and other points west. But there's massive flooding in Maui going on. Damage underway. Flooding and damage underway as storm batters Maui County. Excuse me, sorry. Maui County officials say the island remains in the middle of a powerful Kona storm. This is from actually a couple days ago, bringing widespread flooding, road closures, and damage across the county. National Weather Service says some areas received more than 20 inches of rain, including Kula, and wind gusts over 70 miles per hour were recorded in Kanakakai. Major roadways inundated, bus service suspended, shelters open countywide. There was another post on this from Matthew Todd. Flooding in Hawaii, where even the evacuation centers had to be evacuated. This is climate change. Rainfall intensity is increasing across the planet. It's going to get worse. We're in deep trouble. And this is true. If you're just paying attention, this is true. Martin Flower on Substack. What's up? Yeah, if you're just taking note. Reflect the Sun on Odyssey. I'm not disagreeing. No way, no how about the insects. Earth's energy imbalance doubling in 20 years is all you need to know. The forcings are shown by James Hansen, Leon Simons and company. Yeah. It is what is happening. That is what is happening. They don't control it. That's the problem. Decades and decades and decades of emissions, of poisoning the planet, of breaking down the ozone layer, of nuclear testing in the stratosphere, and on and on and on and on. Military testing everywhere. Mining, deep sea mining, fish mining, destruction of habitat, knocking down tropical forests and all kinds of forests, clearing all that natural cooling tree cover, SpaceX explosions. Yeah. We have altered the planet. It's funny that people can think that humans can't alter the planet, but we can totally control the weather. There's not enough humans on the planet to alter the climate, but they can totally alter the climate anytime that, with a pull the lever, Dr. Evil. Well, which one is it? Do you know? Do you know? Or you just suppose? But the evidence, excuse me, the evidence is always there. If you care to look, insects disappearing, birds disappearing, uh, rain events getting stronger, lasting longer, hurricanes getting stronger, lasting longer, droughts getting stronger, lasting longer, getting deeper. Uh, daytime temperatures edging up over the year, nighttime temperatures edging up over the years. Since 1970, North America has lost 30% of its birds, about 3 billion in total. You have growing zones shifting towards the north, right? Palm trees growing in Ohio. Things that used to grow in the south now growing in the north. Things that used to grow in the north now growing further north. Melting permafrost, etc., etc. Dang it! I really wish. Let's see, 40 billion tons of CO2 per year now. Externalities incoming. Yeah. I don't know, y'all, but believe what you want. What else is happening? We're getting like I covered last week, we're getting a massive heat wave here this week. In California. Very anomalous heat for the month of March. We typically don't see upper 90s or 100s in June. Really? Or until June, not in June. We're in March. Well, no shit. No shit. The thing they're skipping over is that we were in the 90s in February and we were very hot, running in the 80s for about 2 weeks in February, which is very hot. And now in March, it's already been plenty of 80s, plenty of 90s already. They're talking about this upcoming heat wave. There has already been a heat wave in March in California. There's already been several days in the 90s over the last week. So this is an ongoing. This isn't a couple days at the end of this week. This has been going on for over a week, which they're trying to downplay. Warning issued to 5 billion people to stay inside for 34 hours. California officials have issued a sweeping heat advisory affecting more than 5 million residents, warning that dangerous temperatures will grip coastal and inland communities. From Thursday morning to Friday evening, the National Weather Service is urging people to stay indoors during the hottest part of the day. What's interesting is when I look at the forecast, they're not even talking. The forecast for Thursday and Friday doesn't even look that bad. It's not Thursday and Friday that look crazy. It's tomorrow and the next day that look crazy. And well, maybe Thursday and Friday. Maybe so. 93, 92, 94, 94 for Altadena. Where I'm at, we got a little better in the 80s, but it's going to get up to like 87 here tomorrow, which is quite warm. The NWS cautioned that warmth will not end Friday night. Elevated temperatures are expected to linger into the weekend and beyond. So they're downplaying, they're under predicting temperatures for the weekend because they're saying that it's going to cool off this weekend. But this says, no, it's not going to. You can't even trust your weather app, really, to tell you the truth. The average high temperature for the area during this time of year is 73 degrees. Several records are at risk of being broken. San Diego, Orange County, and Inland Empire temperatures could climb to from 93 to 98 degrees in inland zones, and upper 90s to lower 90s, upper 80s to lower 90s along the coast. Also, same for Ventura and Los Angeles. Possibility of hitting 100 degrees in downtown LA on Friday. Heat advisories in both regions will be in effect from 10 a.m. Thursday to 8 p.m. Friday, etc., etc. Los Angeles Oxnard office noted a high risk for heat illness. It said additional advisories or even extreme heat warnings may follow as the above normal temperatures persist into next week. Again, they're downplaying that. They're not showing temperatures persisting into next week. Yep. Hold on. There's something I missed here. Looking further ahead, there's a high chance that temperatures will remain above average across California and the rest of the U.S. West. According to temperature outlooks from the National Weather Service Climate Prediction Center, outlooks anticipate above average temperatures in the region through at least March 24th. Meanwhile, Arctic air is descending into the Midwest early next week, plunging temperatures by as much as 40 degrees from this week's levels. There's levels to this, yo. Levels. All right. That's happening. El Nino might be happening soon. Breaking news, code yikes, March 2026. ENSO probabilities forecast was just released by NOAA this morning, and whoa, this is taking a hard turn towards El Nino since the February forecast, now 60% by midsummer. With already high temperatures being reported, basically creative. With already high temperatures being reported in many places already this year, to have an El Nino kick in, well, that could be scary. That could be a little bit frightening. I mean, and we're going to look at this a little bit. The planet has shifted gears. Scientists confirmed warming has nearly doubled in speed. And if you have been paying attention over the last 5 to 10 years of the record weather anomalies happening all over the planet, well, then you can look beyond a week of there's been a funny cloud above me for the last week and now everything stopped growing. If you had a wider scope on your lens, on your viewfinder, ha 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 ha. How's that a tongue twister? I don't know. If you had a wider lens on your viewfinder, then you might come to better conclusions. Just my thoughts. Something has been shifting in the seasons, you remember. The summers that used to break by late August now hold through October. The rainfall that used to space itself out now dumps a month's worth in a violent afternoon and leaves the rivers dry for weeks afterward. If you are old enough to hold two versions of the same season in your memory, childhood and now, you have already sensed what a very recent study just confirmed in scientific language. A planet changed speed around 2015, and the official models were among the last to register it. The study by Grant Foster and Stefan Rahmstorff stripped El Nino cycles, volcanic eruptions, and solar variation from 5 of the world's most trusted temperature data sets, then measured what the human warming signal was doing underneath. It has been running it at roughly 0.2 C per decade since the 1970s. After 2015, the adjusted data showed a rate of approximately 0.35 C per decade, confirmed across all 5 data sets, across 3 independent statistical models, with greater than 98% certainty. So they stripped out the big variables and left the difference over time and measured that and give you the warming, which is, pretty good way of doing it. When the study came out, the scientific community tested it hard. Nathan Lenson, a statistician, I can't talk today, at the Colorado School of Mines, published a rigorous challenge, noting that the ENSO filter is imperfect and residual natural variability likely remains in the adjusted series. His conclusion, in his own words, the acceleration in long-term forced warming we can pretty confidently attribute to anthropogenic effects. Zeke Hosfather and independent analyst John Kennedy both flagged caveats while affirming the direction. The scientists tasked with auditing the accelerometer ended up confirming the reading. For 50 years, we drove this road with the speedometer pinned at 60, budgeting time, fuel, and complacency. Then the instrument gets recalibrated and the lie snaps into focus. We have been doing 105 for at least 10 years now. Same road, same destination, faster impact. So every promised milestone, every we still have time checkpoint, every careful target behind agreements is now arriving sooner than our systems can absorb and our politics can admit. Of course. How many times have we talked about this? I don't even know. I don't care to recall. How many articles like this have I read over the last 8 years? Something like that. Because we are not just moving faster but accelerating, the machine is taking damage faster too. The engine overheats, the tires shred, the brakes glaze. This is what nearly doubled means, not a new route, just less distance left before consequences. The Paris Agreement is already a eulogy. I don't know if anybody is still talking about 1.5. Anybody you should be listening to. The next El Nino lands on a different planet. Um, 11 modeling groups now project a strong, potentially super El Nino developing in late 2026, with a median peak around 2.5 C, around above baseline. Yikes. Stronger than 2023-24 and approaching the record 2015-2016 event. The largest temperature impact lands on 2027, which looks increasingly likely to set a new record, potentially by a sizable margin. And this comes as the world gets more and more unstable. The U.S. is trying to lock up pretty much everything on the planet, lock up resources and lock up regions. We are not negotiating. We are just kicking ass and taking names, I guess, is the strategy. But we're doing it. One of the main reasons we're doing it is because of this. Reflect the Sun says Jimmy Dore and Kim Iverson should watch your channel. They'd learn something about climate science. Instead, they platform deniers. Sure. Well, that's the problem with fashionable narratives. Funny that he uses a car metaphor unironically. Yeah. And this is something that, well, people that generally do good work in other fields or about other subjects just completely miss on this subject. For multiple reasons. Mainly because it's fashionable. And it's unfortunate because not every conspiracy theorist believes that climate change is a hoax, but most, the vast majority do. And I don't know how that got in there, but it got in there and did a lot of damage. And they sucked up the propaganda that was meant to keep everybody in the dark and ran with it, making them look not as smart as they seem. Or not as smart as they see themselves, I guess is a better way to say it. Food is a weapon in a warming world, so there's going to be every war from here is a climate war. That's interesting. Before the first airstrike, Iran was dying of thirst. Tehran, a city of 10 million people, nearly ran out of water in the months before the first unprovoked missile strike. The process began at the faucet. A state weakened by climate stress, already on its knees, is a state that cannot defend what it sits on. Island nations are already negotiating what no country has ever had to negotiate before, the terms of their own disappearance. Tuvalu has signed an agreement with Australia granting its citizens residency rights as the archipelago sinks. Kiribati, in the Marshall Islands, the Maldives are watching the same. Oh, Kiribati and the Marshall Islands, the Maldives are watching the same tide. When the land is gone, the exclusive economic zone goes with it. The fishing rights, the mineral rights, the maritime corridors. This is probably a large reason why they're trying to lock up all the resources, but also a large reason why their plans are not going to work. Because the unintended blowback of this is something that they're going to have a hard time controlling. If grids go down, if business as usual becomes a very sometimey thing, it's going to matter less and less, like who controls what. But they really want to lock up all the oil before things go south. Poppy says, well, like it up. And I agree. I think you should like up the video. What's this? Part of Venezuela invasion is to secure white flight from climate change in USA. Come on, y'all, like it up. Well, the powers that be didn't help themselves because they took the subject of climate change and tried to commodify it and turned it into a control mechanism, and people saw through that, and so did why am I blanking out here? Michael Moore. I was going to call him Mike Myers. Michael Moore saw through that. Jeff Gibbs. Saw through the fake, like, green energy scam. Well, it's not just that green energy is a scam. It's just that the energy it takes to keep 8 billion people alive is the energy it takes to keep 8 billion people alive, whether it's oil or wind turbines. And it's a lot of energy. And we've pushed ourselves out over a cliff that an ecological cliff, I don't think that we can come back from. High of 32 Fahrenheit in Ozarks today, 80 Fahrenheit Thursday. Dang. That's a whip. That's a whip. Y'all. Oh, man. That's a whip, y'all. Meanwhile, what's crude oil bumping at right now? $92 a barrel. Somebody bought me a coffee. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Whoever that someone was, thank you. 19 last night, 82 on Wednesday here in Santa Fe. Era of extreme. Yeah, I'd say so. The temperature you will feel this summer is not the temperature today's emissions will produce. The world is still loading. It is the temperature of an atmosphere from roughly 40 years ago. This is the problem that people do not understand. We have done the damage. If you think one factory has a negative impact on its surroundings, the air quality, the environment, and it does because think about hundreds, thousands of factories and power plants churning out all that stuff every single day, night and day, 24 hours a day for decades and over decades, over decades, over decades. Now think about the billions of cars on the planet churning out all those emissions day after day, every night and every day for years, years and years, decades and decades and decades. You don't think that has an impact? Going to have to say, I don't find that to be very logical. I find that to be somewhat selective. It is the temperature of an atmosphere from roughly 40 years ago when CO2 concentration sat around 350 parts per million. The actual count is already 427 parts per million, and the warming committed to that number has not yet reached the surface. The planet carries a lag. The wave tsunami generated far out at sea travels invisibly for hours. The ground stopped shaking in 1985. The wave has been crossing the ocean since. Well, the messed up thing is the ground didn't stop shaking. It actually shook more since 1985. It's been shaking even more every single year since 1985. Yeah. Even in the most optimistic scenarios, concentrations stabilize somewhere around 550 parts per million. Which means the world at the end of this century will be warmer than anything today's instruments suggest. Carrying heat locked in before most of the people reading this were born. End of the century. There's not a lot of people I think that agree that we're going to make it to the end of the century. I heard somebody talking the other day about the fact that we have about 100 years of civilization left, maybe. And we can all take wagers on what we think the actuality will be. Meanwhile, the burning oil tanker count is somewhere between 6 and 10. The seas around the Middle East are rapidly being rendered uninhabitable for wildlife. This is an environmental disaster. There is acid rain falling in Iran. And I was having a discussion with a friend last night, and they were talking about you can't explode all those bombs and munitions and not and have it, all that stuff is going into the atmosphere. That has to have a global impact. It's not going to stay localized. I was reading something about the Strait of Hormuz. People are predicting basically placing odds on when our entire economy collapses. Oh, Reflect the Sun bought some coffees. Thanks, Reflect the Sun. I appreciate you. Word, word, word. Y'all are great. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Yeah, there are people predicting, I don't know, anywhere between a few weeks and a few months before the economy unravels due to the war in Iran. Can't grow dogwoods in Missouri anymore, and it's a state tree. Sounds about right. Let's see. I've seen several articles about several think pieces, articles, what have you, on the closing of the Strait of Hormuz and how long it takes to impact. It's already impacting the broader economy. So the question is, how bad will it get? How quickly will it get bad? Where's the floor? I don't know. It depends on how long this continues, how long the Trump administration decides to keep going with this. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. And just showing you how the American people are feeling. I like to show these polls every once in a while. Brutal new polling from NBC News shows views of Israel among Americans have declined across all age groups. Well, as it should. If you're awake, if you're paying attention, if you have a heart, if you're a person of conscience. I think your views should change. The bottom numbers in each age range are from 2023. Top numbers 2026. So in every category, the view is going down, especially among the youth. So give it up for the kids for knowing what's up. The floor won't be seen until a year from now. It will be bad before then, maybe a few weeks, St. Patrick's Day, false flag or something. I don't know, y'all. Can't call it. Reflect the Sun removed. I don't know where to go. I don't know. It's all good. Operation Les Wexner's Fury. I mean, nuke Israel. I'm sick. Yeah. That would be bad for the rest of the planet, I think. I don't want to see any nukes anywhere. The U.S. is starving 11 million people in Cuba. Right now, power is out, food is rotting, water pumps are shut down, sewage is overflowing into the streets. Russia tried to send humanitarian aid. The U.S. Navy blocked them. American news isn't covering this. Nope. That's funny. I don't know. I actually think Epstein is probably more likely related to Hitler. Or at least he's carrying on the legacy. Victory Jin says slowly and then very rapidly. I'm glad you're here too, Victory Jin. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. I know that I've been like somewhat oh, you had a typo. I predicted deep bear market crash around 2035. That far out, based on Chris Ciavaccio's demographic market trends correlating to Hansen and Simon's 2C by mid to late 2030s. So I mean, 2035 seems like a long way away. Not saying that you're wrong, that you're most likely. I just don't know how we can limp along until 2035, at least economically. Now, if you are saying that might be the time when climate change really does just kick in and just destroy the abilities for humans to conduct global stock market type activities, then sure. I do think we're probably heading to a really, and this is not my own idea at all. It's just listening to people and trying to get it. Just all the indicators are flashing red. I think you have big players stepping out of the market, big players sitting to the side, lots of very influential and knowledgeable people saying that doesn't look good. I've seen quite a few just people that I generally trust their opinions on things saying that a pretty big bear market is coming this year or early next year. I don't know. And if you're just living day to day, if you're just trying to pay bills and buy gas, you're living in your own personal bear market. It has nothing to do with the stock market. Your own personal bear market is here. If you're trying to keep up with the bills and having a hard time, and a lot of people, that's a lot of people's experience right now already. So I think that the what the situation is really is that the bear market is already there. They're just waiting for the stock market to catch up to it. The stock market is not the signifier. The stock market is just propping up the economy with hopes and dreams. We're still here, y'all. We're still in it. And I feel like we've been in a pretty bad place for several years, and they're just waiting on some outside big fat correction signal for them, for the media class and the ruling class to go like, okay, it's a recession. Oh, I guess things are kind of bad. Sure. Not only that, they've been pumping up the repo markets. That's been going on for months. The overnight banking repo markets have been quite active, and they're really trying to prop up the banks. There's also the silver shorting situation. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot of manipulation going on. just like the cloud cover that they're putting up in the sky, I think they're doing all that they can to duct tape and baling wire the situation to continue going forward. S&P 500 and NASDAQ already turned over. Crash is obvious now. I think so. I mean, I think that's... Again, they're waiting for... They're waiting for the moment when they can admit, finally, that things are really bad. And everybody's getting, I think the regular folk are going to turn to each other and go, no shit. Like we tried to tell you, we've been trying to tell you for like several years now, probably since the middle of the Biden administration, I would say. Like mid Biden administration was inflation really started going bonkers. And people were having a hard time. And it's just been getting worse and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. It has not been getting better. There was a little bit of a stock market bump at the beginning of Trump's term. But that's quickly turned around. Capitalists will keep injecting capital into the system, which is why we're barely off highs, even despite all the chaos. Not saying that we can't drop further into correction. Demographic trends are underappreciated when a huge population like the millennials will keep spending up to age 54, 55. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the stock market has turned over. I think once it gets past the support, the 6,500, I think it's going to start the crazy drop, but who knows? Actually, on a really long trend line, don't mind me. I'm just looking at this chart. On a really long trend line, the stock market can keep its upward trending and still drop to 5,600. So, I mean, it could still be in an upswing and drop a whole lot of points, 1,200 points. So there's that. And that would be a hell of a correction, but still keeping it in an upward trajectory. So there's that. So actually really has a lot farther to go to do a macro turnover, like a really big turnover. Really big turnover would be under 5,000. No, under 5,000 would be the time when the really big turnover happens. I'm talking about ES. I'm not talking about NASDAQ. Sorry. Let's look at NASDAQ numbers. Let's say 1,600, 1,700 would be the time when it really, really is slamming down. But that is a long way down. That's a long way down. Anyways, whatever. These are just my thoughts. High interest rates are coming. Gold and silver will crash temporarily. Extra Bullet, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm about to sign off, but glad that you could jump in here. Thanks, man. Gas prices are hurting everyone, the worldwide. They hate us. Yeah. Yup. Yippa. Insider trading is keeping the markets going wild. Oh, they're propping it up. The very best that they can. They are playing all the games. Fear is already near panic level. Just one drop would be like the COVID low, which everyone thought was the end, says Reflect the Sun. We'll see. I mean, I don't have any good feelings about it, so I can't say. I just can't say. Guys, I'm going to have to take off. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. I feel like it's been a while since I said that. Much appreciation for everyone showing up. Thanks to everyone who donated today. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're gonna be back on Thursday. Also gonna be doing a loop stream tomorrow. I know I keep saying that, but tomorrow for real, loop stream is happening at noon. So tune in, Instagram at kevinsandbloom or YouTube at kevinsandbloom, etc. Extra Bully shared the tweeters and upscrolled. Nice. So I'll see you guys tomorrow if I don't see you on Thursday. Appreciate you. And until next time, beware the buyer.